Yeah. So in B block, we're gonna have, somebody come on and hang out with us.
Yeah.
But we're gonna start the. You recording?
I am recording.
All right. I guess we're gonna start the show now.
Oh, corroding.
All right. That's going. That's good. All right. This week on the Media Virus Podcast, Alaskan airplane runs afoul on Thanksgiving. There is a new oldest man because the last one is dead. And from 62 cents to $6.2 million, it's still kind of gay when a dude eats a banana in public. Sit down. It's the Media Virus Podcast. Now here's your infection team.
Broadcasting directly from our own deranged corner of the internet, where the headlines are twisted, the jokes are questionable, and the hosts are definitely not qualified. This is the show where no topic is off limits, no punchline is too inappropriate, and no one leaves without learning, or at least catching something. Whether you're here for the chaos, the comedy, or just because you've made a series of poor life choices, welcome to the Media Virus Podcast. Let's point and laugh as our world is burning around us. You know, it is a week after Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And according to staff writer's Bill's rant, it's the time of year we poison every member of our family while you burn your house down. But Black Friday has come and gone. The deals have been gotten and the assault charges have been dismissed. I thought that I was going to escape the Black Friday madness because I was scheduled to start at 2 o'clock and work until the store closed. But I'll be damned if I wasn't absolutely wrong about that. And the worst part about being open until 10, the mall still open at 9. So the doors close. And they make an announcement. And they make that announcement starting at 8 o'clock that the doors will be closing to the mall. And every 15 minutes, there is an announcement that the doors will be locked. And in the last 15 minutes, the announcements went to every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
At 9 o'clock, the announcement was made. The doors were closed and locked. And then at 9:05, a woman walked up to me and asked me to open the door so she could get out. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, as I'm still reeling from that idiocy, right. I literally just said, they're locked. I can't do anything about that, and turned my back and walked away.
Yeah, I mean, you don't look like a guy who has store keys to me.
Compared to everybody else that works there, he most certainly
does.
Well,
yeah, let's not get into that. But so I was still reeling from that idiocy that just encountered me. And this woman walks up to me and asks me the price of a $10 watch. And there's no reason to ask because I saw her pick the watch up from a table that had a sign that said $10 watches.
That's funny.
And then she proceeded to wander around my department looking at every little piece of shit. At the 5-minute closing announcement, she brings that $10 watch and a cart filled to the brim with clothing and shit. Just absolutely nothing that I want to ring up. Shit, I got to fold.
Yeah.
Okay. And she proceeds to make final decisions on each item before she hands it to me. Like, am I going to get this for Uncle Harold? I don't know. I don't even like him that much. Like, literally, that's verbatim.
Oh, that doesn't sound good at all, man.
No. So, she starts looking for coupons and her store card.
Oh, very
good. This is before she has finished making these decisions.
Okay.
The closing announcement happens, and we're still making decisions.
Nice.
Hi, we're closed.
Her phone rings. It's her daughter,
Right.
whom she is on a shopping trip with.
Okay.
And the daughter, well, she can't find an open register. You want to know why?
Because the store's closed?
Because the fucking store is closed. The store's closed. But I don't know. I hear a one-sided conversation.
Right.
Right? So I don't think anything of it until I see her daughter pushing a cart stacked over her head.
Mm.
Oh.
I was finishing up the transaction.
Uh-huh.
I hand her bags and receipt.
Right.
And in one fluid motion, turn and walk to the bathroom. I didn't even acknowledge the daughter at all.
The way that I would never check out jewelry at the jewelry counter.
I acted as if it was all over and I disappeared because I would have gone to jail.
Right.
Because, no, she had some sort of badge embedded in her wallet.
Oh, geez.
And honestly, that enraged me because I'm like, this pig came in and proceeded to act like a fucking pig. But the point of this story is to illustrate that as terrible and inconsiderate as some people can be, others are generous and giving and warm.
That's
And you know
true.
what? I think this next story proves it. So, reporting live from the Alaskan skies is the Reverend Professor Mike Latoris. Mike, is it true they're turning Thanksgiving into an extreme sport up there?
Maddie, let me tell you, this story really takes off. Up here in Alaska, Esther Keem is channeling her inner Arthur Carlson, tossing frozen turkeys from her plane like a holiday Robin Hood. It's less bird, plane, or Superman, and more Les Nessman dodging foul projectiles.
Erica has no clue the references
Right.
and the hilarity of what you just read.
I would have laughed.
Those were
You
good.
would have had you known.
Yeah.
Yeah. But have you ever heard of a 1970s television show called WKRP in Cincinnati?
In
No, I've never lived in
Cincinnati.
No, it was a TV show played all over the country. But the TV show was called WKRP in Cincinnati, and it was a television show. I think like Deep Roots, that show really molded my young mind.
Harold Hassman.
Right. And just the guy
Venus Flytrap.
Venus Flytrap was the black guy.
Right.
Who was the white guy?
Andy,
The mustache guy.
the mustache guy. That was
With the sunglasses and the long hair. He was the on-air personality.
Johnny Fever. That was Harold Hassman.
Yeah, Johnny Fever. So they had a Thanksgiving like promotion where they got a helicopter.
Yeah.
Okay. And they took a whole bunch of live turkeys up to this
hold
helicopter.
on. Is this the news? That
No,
happened,
I'm
or this is
explaining.
the show.
I was explaining the joke.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so they did. It was a situation comedy, a workplace. One of the first workplace comedies, I would imagine. That wasn't it.
Yeah.
But they did a bit where they dropped live turkeys out of a helicopter, and because the funniest thing is the station manager at the end of the show goes, "God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly."
Oh.
So they were just literally hugging turkeys out of this helicopter. I mean, you didn't see any of it. It was all news reported, but that's what made it fucking terrific. That's what made it really great, is because, especially that bit, is because it's theater of the mind. All you're seeing is the reaction of someone else to what's going on.
And it was Les Nessman, the
And
news guy.
yeah, but this lady, instead of stuffing the turkey, she's just lobbing them at Eskimos. How do the locals take it there, Mike? So I went off script.
That's okay. They love it. Esther's the winged wonder of the frozen north. One family said it beats splitting a squirrel 3 ways. And Maddie, I don't know about you, but I've had enough bad dates to know no one should have to settle for a skinny piece of rodent at dinner.
Oh.
Unless it's at like a rodent renaissance pop up in Brooklyn. You know, for like $200, you get sauteed squirrel on a kale. But back to Esther. How's her aim?
Well, it's surprisingly decent. She's never hit a house, a dog, a person, or the like or subscribe buttons for the Media Virus podcast.
Well,
sounds like that ham was hogging the spotlight.
Yeah. Did you say, was there anything about a ham? I think we took that out.
What happens when a turkey goes rogue? Can you imagine sitting down to crank one?
You have to deliver the line straight, Erica.
You can't laugh at the line.
Hold on, because it's like hard to see. So I'm like, wait, am I reading it right?
You're reading it perfectly.
Can you imagine sitting down to crank one out and some Inuit porn? To some Inuit porn. The contacts are like dirty. And the fucking turkey comes crashing through the ceiling?
Oh, I think they've got protocol for that. No drop until they see someone outside. Kind of like when your Amazon driver insists on a signature. Except instead of a package, it's 12 pounds of frozen bird coming in hot. Or rather cold.
Classic Alaskan efficiency. No freezer, no problem. Just toss it in the bed of your truck and let Mother Nature do her thing. But my question is, do you think she could hit a 15-gallon vat of hot fryer oil from 500 feet in the air?
That remains to be seen, Matt. But Esther's planning to expand. Maybe add stuffed animals for the kids. Because nothing says happy holidays like a teddy bear riding a frozen turkey through the Alaskan skies like Air Force Major T.J. King Kong.
With frickin' laser beams on their frickin' heads. Mike, this whole story's for the birds. Any final thoughts?
Just one. Esther Keem, proof that when you see them wings, that em are ducks.
And we're not.
O's are too. See them wings?
You dumb fuck, they're turkeys. Reverend, you just said it.
We'll be right back after this.
I was so happy that you
Y'all are the worst.
You just decided to jump in and start reading. I was a little lost. I appreciate what you did. But you picked the worst one.
Stop messing up and I won't have to.
Oh, it was great. If you want to play too, yeah, just jump right in.
You know, if you want us to like write you in, we can definitely do that.
No, because I have to pay attention.
Yeah, it's hard.
I'm only paying attention now because my phone's charging.
Oh well. So you're gonna go see my parents this weekend?
Yes, on Saturday.
Yeah. My dad's 93 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably going to go see them tomorrow. I went and saw them yesterday.
You have a busy day tomorrow.
I might not go see them tomorrow.
Mm.
I might just take some time for myself and do the work I need to do around here. Because I have a shelving unit to fix. Yeah,
also your mom's like sick.
Yeah, she is sick. So it's probably a better idea if I don't go over. Okay. But my whole point of this story was I was going to say, he could be in the running for the world's oldest man.
No.
However, while I met a dude he was a Korean vet. He was 94 years old. He knew exactly how many Korean vets were left in the United States.
Doesn't surprise me. Some of those guys are really, really committed.
Sharp as a tack. Sharp as a razor. This guy, I mean, you could tell, like, at 94, this guy could disable you before you, before you struck him.
Yep.
Like, he was completely, he was the same man he's always been.
Yep.
But now we're going to report on a story older than time itself. I don't understand that line. But the Reverend Professor Mike Latoris. Mike, what is going on across the pond?
Maddie, the world's oldest man, John Alfred Tenniswood, has passed away in England at the ripe old age of 112. That's not just old, Maddie. That's fucking old. The man was born in 1912. He lived through 2 world wars, missed the sinking of the Titanic by 4 months. What luck. And the creation of avocado toast.
Wait a minute.
That was recent.
Dude, 1912? He's older than traffic lights. Imagine explaining to him that gender is a fluid and we hold space for lyrics.
Right?
You know what I mean?
If you told him people were making viral videos about those things, he'd probably say, your great Nan saved space for my gender fluid.
So what's the secret of longevity? Kale smoothies? Hot yoga?
Nope, nothing trendy. He credited pure luck, moderation, and banging your great Nan. The man basically said, don't walk too much, don't drink too much, don't eat too much. Or as I call it, don't have any fun outside of banging people's nans.
But fish and chips every Friday sounds less like moderation and more like some like delicious self-care. I like fish and chips.
Exactly. He wasn't trying to win any health awards, just a Guinness World Record for banging nans. Ironically, Guinness beer wasn't involved at all.
It's a missed opportunity. So who is next in line?
Whoever has the stomach for it, I guess. Oh, you mean the oldest man thing? Well, that's the mystery, Maddie. Guinness hasn't announced the new title holder just yet. Somewhere, a 110-year-old is out there thinking, finally, some granny punani.
You know, living to 112 sounds great until you've outlived your wife, you've outlived all your friends, your favorite TV show. He probably outlived his prostate.
That's true, Maddie. But the man had 4 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. He probably got to hear Grandpa, when are you going to die so we can have our own rooms 1,000 times?
Well, here's to John Alfred Tenniswood, a man so old his first words might have been Irish need not apply. Thanks, Mike, for the timeless report.
My pleasure, Maddie. And hey, in honor of John, let's all take it sleazy this weekend. Just not too sleazy.
That's right.
My goodness.
What's wrong?
I just feel like the oldest people like live in like blue zones and like not England.
That's what I think made it extraordinary. But the blue zones, yeah. I was talking to my dad about.
Oh yeah, he's like obsessed.
Yeah, but I think you got to live there your whole life. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't live in the toxic wastes of New Jersey for 70 years and then go, oh, I'm gonna move to Greece so I can live longer.
Right.
So what makes an area a blue zone?
You know what? I forget, but there's a show.
It's usually Netflix. They're on the Mediterranean.
No, because there's one in China.
May I?
All right.
And the Pacific.
Okay.
The Pacific and the Mediterranean around the Ring of Fire have very fertile soil.
Yes.
Clean air, and because of all that rock and the volcanic activity and shit, they have pure, clean water.
Mm-hmm.
So for some reason, I don't think it has to do with that. I think the blue zones, like they coined the term blue zone for areas where people live well past 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that's just what they're called. Like they just decided to make it called that.
Right.
I'd be interested to find out.
And they surround the Mediterranean and the Pacific Ocean. They are definitely localized.
I'd be interested to find out how they correlate with areas with higher concentrations of Seventh-day Adventists.
Huh?
It's a Christian sect. It's the Seventh-day Adventists.
Okay.
And part of the devout devout followers do is that there's a whole diet thing. They don't drink, they don't smoke, no caffeine, like super clean living. Like they make more. In fact, they do the clean living thing a little bit harder than the Mormons do it.
So I think that with these, just because I watched a couple episodes of it, it's more like they're not doing it on purpose.
No,
it just
happened.
happened.
Yeah.
Right,
The
but
people who are super old, there's the lady in Japan,
but they're
she just eats a lot of fish. The guy in Italy and the guy in Greece, they just have to walk up these hills, like how you see, like donkeys walking people up like the stairs and stuff. Like that's just their life.
Right.
Well,
and they're quite a bit away from industry as well. Like their areas aren't as polluted.
Yeah. What was Mike
the
gonna
way
say?
that they made this correlation though is where there are high concentrations of 7-day Adventists. They had noticed like if it was like whole little small towns would have these, just fantastic numbers of how old people live to be.
Yeah.
So when they started looking into it, they realized that the common thread was these areas are predominantly that religion. So the people practice and live that way.
Yeah.
And because they don't have those things in their community, the communities thrive. Like even people who aren't specifically 7-day Adventists do tend to get some of the benefits.
The side effects.
Yeah, because
spread out.
Yeah, like there's no little liquor stores in the town because they don't need them. They would fail if they were there. So I would. That's why I was interested in the correlation, because they're big into nature. There's a whole thing.
Yeah. Well, like that's one of those things. Like kindness and generosity, kind of pull people together. They spread out, and they pull people together. And I don't know if you remember. I think it was back in 2016. There was a woman who accidentally invited a complete stranger, like the wrong number.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
To
Thanksgiving.
It was on the news.
It was an old white couple.
Yeah.
And they invited like this black kid.
Yeah.
He just showed up. And he's been showing up for like 10 years.
Well, we got a little update on that.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Yeah. From text message to family tradition, Wanda and Jamal's Thanksgiving bond.
And now bringing us the latest update on a story that's got more layers than a Thanksgiving casserole. It's the Reverend Professor Mike Latoris. Mike, what's cooking?
Maddie, this story isn't just heartwarming. It's oven roasting at 350 for 9 hours straight. Back in 2016, Wanda Dench accidentally invited a stranger, Jamal Hinton, to Thanksgiving dinner via text. And unlike most internet interactions, this one didn't end with a scam or a block.
That's incredible. Meanwhile, the only strangers I text on Thanksgiving are DoorDash drivers.
Samesies. But these two turned a wrong number into a right family tradition. Jamal even stuck by Wanda after her husband Lonnie passed away in 2020. Now that's loyalty. Most of us can't even stick to leftovers past Saturday.
That's true. I was actually just saying that we should chuck all our leftovers. I got to clean the fridge tomorrow. It's one of the things I got to do. And it's just like, are the leftovers trash?
Well, if they're in the fridge, I give them 5 to 7 days.
5 to 7. But on the 6th day, we're done.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I would have had a turkey sandwich when I came home if you didn't say something.
No, I get that. But you might have also gotten sick. I'm just saying, I think 6 days, like Thanksgiving leftovers, today's Wednesday. I think we're at a saturation point with what we can tolerate. But I hear this year for Wanda and Jamal, it wasn't quite the same. Do you think Lonnie died from the shock of Wanda birthing a black baby?
Correct. Wanda, who recently finished chemo for breast cancer, is immunocompromised. So instead of sharing a turkey and stuffing in person, they took it virtual with an Instagram Live. Maddie, even during a pandemic and a health scare, these two managed to make social media sweet. And that's no small feat.
No kidding. Most of Instagram is just people like pretending their life is perfect while they cry into their salads. Wanda and Jamal, like they're the real deal. Like that's a heart touching story.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely. Jamal even helped Wanda to get her first tattoo. Now, if that isn't friendship goals, I don't know what is. My friends won't even help me pick a Netflix show, let alone hold my hand while I get inked.
she was holding his hand during Netflix. Is that like a euphemism? Speaking of Netflix, wasn't there supposed to be like a movie? Oh, pardon me. Wasn't there supposed to be a movie about this?
Sure, throw a dart at the Hallmark Network schedule for November.
Classic. Hollywood. You know, they'd rather reboot Shrek than make something wholesome.
True, but Wanda said she's optimistic about next year's Thanksgiving. Maddie, if this story teaches us anything, it's that Thanksgiving isn't always about family. It's about a BBW getting some BBC.
Preach, Reverend. And thanks for the feel-good feast, Mike.
Anytime, Maddie. And remember, if you ever get a random text invite to Thanksgiving, pick up some rubbers.
There you go.
There you go.
That's the news. We did it.
We did. That was,
We did it, Joe.
I mean, that was everything that we had scripted, and we did it in 26 minutes.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know, I did pop it up on the screen for a second, but we did have a comment from Becky. She
okay. Now Mike, or not Mike, staff writer Bill
right
sent me a meme. Like this happened today, right? Sent me a meme that was like trying to get his girlfriend. It was a guy trying to get his girlfriend back. Let me pull it up so I can. Oh, you know what?
You can probably share it with the group.
I probably can. Let me see.
While I look for, I heard about this CEO shot, but I'm gonna look for a little something on that.
You got it.
Eek.
Oh yeah.
Well, we know we don't want the New York Times.
Image.
We'll go with Reuters. Reuters usually has a pretty good take on everything. Brian Thompson, CEO of United Health's insurance unit, was killed on Wednesday morning. So that's today. And
that's today.
Yeah, it's definitely today. Outside of Midtown Hotel, in what police described as a targeted attack by a gunman lying in wait for him.
Yeah, because he probably fucking deserved it. It's it's probably some dad who fucking lost his kid because of he's a shitbag. That's probably like, oh, how do you know he's a shitbag? Here, I'll explain it to you. He was the CEO of United Healthcare. That's all you need to know.
Yep.
Like nobody gives a shit. You got shot and people are making jokes. Fuck you. That's how I feel about it. And here it is. Can you see that?
Seeing
the United Healthcare CEO get shot made me realize I treated you as a deductible when I should have put a premium on you to fully cover the pre-existing conditions of our relationship. No need to reply. I know this is out of pocket and open enrollment for your heart has ended.
Wow.
That's the meme.
Insurance humor.
That popped up.
Oh, wow.
Like 3 hours.
That's deep.
Hours after the man was shot.
That's deep.
That 3 hours after the man was shot, they're making jokes about it. But I mean, we're going to find out who. But I guarantee you, it's a disgruntled customer. It's somebody who's paid in his entire life. Now him or someone he loves is sick, and they're probably dead. So he's got nothing to lose.
Yep.
And there's nothing worse. There is nothing more dangerous than a man with nothing to lose.
That's true. That's
nothing.
Absolutely true.
Because if he doesn't care, if he's got nothing to care about, he doesn't care about himself.
That's no,
And he doesn't give a shit if he dies. So good luck with that guy. That's probably going to be suicide by cop all day long.
yeah. I don't see him trying to go back. Well, I mean, they don't necessarily know who he is. They didn't say they knew who he was.
Well, they're definitely going to drop his coverage. Or they're probably going to increase his premiums. Probably what they're going to do.
Probably.
You know?
I mean, that's from a business standpoint, that's the right way to go.
That's the way to do it. You got to,
you know, do you think they'll cover the injuries if he gets shot by the police?
it'd be funny if they did. Like that would, like if he tried suicide by cop and they just filled him full of fucking holes, you know, and then
holes that they could just fix up.
no, they didn't hit any major organs.
Right. Like
right, they just missed everything by like millimeters. But he's bleeding out, so he needed a whole bunch of blood and a whole bunch of surgeries to survive.
Yeah, some of that expensive hospital shit.
Yeah, and then United Healthcare is going to step in, pay for all that just to watch him suffer for, the rest of his life.
Right.
So
I'm looking away from you.
I can definitely I can maybe do this, and then we're almost looking at each other.
Oh, like on the toast.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a daily podcast for the girlies.
Oh.
But it's two sisters, and one's in Florida and one's in New York.
So they just call him Buchinche?
Well, yeah, pretty much. They like Buchinche, but like also like celebrity news type of vibes, and But they talk about the things, and they sit, and it looks like they're looking at each other, but really they're in two different places.
Yeah.
Like they must have it so like
it's
the
good that
screen is on the side, so like one is like angled and she's like looking like to her left, and
the
other one is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But me looking at you, it looks like I'm looking at Mike.
No, it doesn't.
What does it look like I'm looking at?
It looks like you're looking off screen.
But I'm looking towards Mike.
Oh, right. It's
Yeah,
like the Brady Bunch squares.
I just moved myself over because I was looking.
Yeah, he was looking that way, and we were all right.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
None of us were.
No, but the one thing I can tell you is this week's A Block has been brought to you on the 213th episode of the Media Virus Podcast by 302-46-VOICE. If you want my voice on your project, dial 302-46-VOICE.
And let me tell you something. You want his voice.
Oh, yeah.
His voice on your fucking project.
You sure do.
Absolutely.
Okay? If you need a second voice, but him.
The him.
Go ahead.
And you can check out some of my work on YouTube. There's a channel that I provide voiceover for called Exploring Atlanta 360. And they've got great videos of stuff to do when you're in Atlanta that I do the intros for, and they're fantastic.
They are fantastic.
You can always find something good to listen to over at Stepmoms Without Children. Erica, how's Stepmoms going along? Any good?
Yeah, it's great.
Fantastic.
I got my Wrapped from Spotify. That was like a fun thing to look at and post about.
They kind of boil all your stats down and show you what's what with your podcast.
Yeah, they tell me like what my listeners are also listening to, and I think the number 4 podcast that my listeners are listening to is the Media Virus Podcast.
Fantastic. That's awesome. I'll have to keep an eye out for ours. I don't know that it's out yet.
Yeah, go to the Creators app.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to go check that out.
So that's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But I think that's it for us for A Block. Come back for B Block. We're going to do the same thing where we're broadcasting all over the place. We're on YouTube, Facebook as the Media Virus Network, and my personal Facebook page. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
All right, folks.
Also, I have to tell you something.
Hold on. Don't tell him yet.
I'm not.
Ew.